top three takeaways I had from this class, my peers teaching, was first teaching styles. I learned a lot about different teaching styles. We tried the stations and we tried whole class, and it's something that I had to adjust to because I've never really taught in stations. I've never really broke up the class like that. I've always just kind of done a whole group at once. So it was nice to really understand what it's like to teach a small group and understand where everyone has to be and how to make it work with 5 people instead of 15, 20 people. A second one was classroom management and safety. I had an issue where sometimes I would struggle to control my classroom. I would struggle to really get every single person in the room moving the way I want them to, and my safety wasn't always the best. I might miss a safety statement, but through teaching with this class and with my peers, I learned new ways of how to implement safety and how I could always constantly be reminding them of why they need to be safe and what they can do to continue to be safe. And the last one would be time management. Going into the first few lessons, my time management wasn't the best. We might have dragged on one game a little too long, or warm up a little longer than we needed to, so then when we got to the end we had less time for our closure, didn't get to ask as many questions as we probably should have. So time management was a big thing, especially in stations, understanding that students have to have a certain amount of time in each station so each teacher gets the right amount of time to get their content out. What are 3 things I can improve in my teaching? First is having more emotion while I'm speaking. I've noticed that in my first lesson I was really just up there monotone, just letting it come out, but I didn't really have any emotion or passion behind what I was saying, so how would I expect my students to want to have passion to learn if I don't have passion to teach? So throughout teaching, I've realized that I got to be more vocal, more emotional behind my voice so they want to actually engage with me. Another one would be being my preparedness and having modifications ready for the students. As in our first teaching, we probably let a game go on just a little bit too long when we could have ended it earlier and got a new modification going. And I learned that you always have to be ready, be prepared for anything that could happen, and always have modifications for your students so they always have something new to do. And finally is my safety and check for understandings. As I taught, I realized I wasn't adding enough safety statements in my teachings, and they were missing out. And some students might have been doing things that weren't really safe, but I didn't let them know what they had to do, so they would have never known. And check for understandings, I need to have more questions that are more in depth, that go deep about what I'm teaching, whether it be health-related fitness or whatever it may be, so the students actually get an understanding of what they're learning and they're not just getting the base level. One thing I learned that I can use for my student teaching is, along with my emotion, is keeping my energy up. Because as I learned especially from the teaching where I was doing stations, my first group, I didn't really have much energy. I was kind of just going with the flow, reading off what I wanted to talk about, and then I realized they were just giving me the same energy back. They weren't really trying. They weren't putting any effort into their work that I had for them. So on the second group, I attempted to put more emotion behind it, have a little more fun, show a little energy to them, and I realized they were reciprocating that back to me. So I learned that I need to continue to do that and keep my energy up, keep my emotions up, so the students will reciprocate that and enjoy the class a little bit more. As for the final one, 2 examples of using physical literacy. One being elementary. It's with elementary students, you need to find something that's enjoyable, something that they can take from it, as sometimes the physical literacy part, health-related fitness, physical fitness, isn't very fun to a second grader, third grader, so you have to find ways that make it enjoyable and memorable for the students. So when they go home, they want to tell their mom or dad, or whoever's at home, about this thing they tried in physical education today. So they might want to try it again when they're at home, or even join a sports team or do something. And they want to continue to try this on their own. For secondary and high school levels, it's a big focus on getting them to understand their bodies and health-related fitness and how they can continue this on into a healthy lifestyle beyond physical education. So it's a focus on lifetime activities, things such as golf and racquetball and pickleball, something they can go out with their friends and do at any point. All you need is a couple people, and helping them with their fitness plans and helping them create a fitness plan, understanding when to work out, a workout plan, what to eat, nutrition, all of the above. And they need to understand that fitness is important beyond physical education, and no matter what I teach, they have to be able to take it home with them.